시작합니다.
The title is Mary and Puppy. Chapter 1, Meeting. Once upon a time, in a cozy village, lived a girl named Mary. Mary was 8 years old, with bright eyes and a warm smile. She loved exploring the village with her best friend, Hans. Hans was also 8, with curly hair and a big heart. One sunny day, Mary and Hans found something special. It was a tiny puppy, lost and alone in the village. Mary's heart melted when she saw the puppy's sad eyes. She knew they had to help the little creature. Hans agreed, his face filled with concern. Together, they decided to take care of the puppy. They named it Puppy because it seemed fitting. Puppy wagged its tail happily, grateful for their kindness. Mary and Hans promised to keep Puppy safe. They fed Puppy, gave it water, and made it comfortable. Puppy quickly became their new friend and companion. Mary and Hans laughed as Puppy chased its tail. They knew they had made the right decision. Chapter 2, Adventure. Every day, Mary, Hans, and Puppy went on adventures. They explored the village, discovering new places to play. Puppy loved running through the fields with Mary and Hans. Its tail wagged faster than ever as it raced ahead. Mary and Hans laughed as Puppy rolled in the grass. They felt happy and free, with Puppy by their side. But deep down, they knew Puppy needed a family. They asked around the village, hoping to find its owner. But no one knew where Puppy came from. Mary and Hans didn't give up, they kept searching. They talked to everyone they met, determined to help Puppy. Their friendship grew stronger with each passing day. They hugged each other tightly, grateful for their bond. But they knew they couldn't keep Puppy forever. They had to find its rightful owner soon. Mary and Hans promised to do whatever it took. Chapter 3, Puppy's Family. As they continued their search, Mary and Hans met a kind old man. He had seen Puppy wandering around the village before. He offered to help them find Puppy's family. Mary and Hans thanked him, feeling hopeful once again. They followed the old man to a house on the edge of town. There, they found a family waiting anxiously. When they saw Puppy, their faces lit up with joy. Puppy's tail wagged furiously as it recognized them. Tears of happiness streamed down the family's faces. They thanked Mary and Hans for taking care of Puppy. Mary and Hans felt bittersweet as they said goodbye. They hugged Puppy one last time, knowing it was for the best. Puppy licked their faces, as if saying thank you. Mary and Hans watched as Puppy ran into the arms of its family. They waved goodbye, feeling a mix of emotions. Chapter 4. Goodbye. Mary and Hans walked home together, holding hands. They felt sad to say goodbye to Puppy but happy it found its family. They knew they had done the right thing. Their friendship had been strengthened by their experience. They would always cherish the memories they made with Puppy. As they reached Mary's house, they smiled at each other. They knew their friendship would last forever. They promised to always be there for each other. Mary's parents greeted them warmly as they entered the house. They had heard about Puppy and were proud of Mary and Hans. They knew their daughter had a kind heart. Mary and Hans told them all about their adventure. They laughed and smiled as they shared their story. Mary's parents hugged them both, feeling grateful for their friendship. They knew Mary and Hans were special kids. Chapter 5. Longing. That night, Mary lay in bed, thinking about Puppy. She missed its playful barks and wagging tail. But she knew Puppy was where it belonged, with its family. She closed her eyes and whispered a silent thank you to Puppy. She knew it would always hold a special place in her heart. Hans lay in bed too, feeling a mix of emotions. He missed Puppy's company but was happy it was safe. He thought about all the fun they had together. He smiled as he remembered Puppy chasing after sticks. He knew he would never forget their time with Puppy. As they drifted off to sleep, Mary and Hans dreamed of new adventures. They knew they would always be there for each other, no matter what. Their friendship was strong, just like their love for Puppy. Chapter 6. Returning of Puppy. The next morning, Mary and Hans woke up early. They were excited to see each other and talk about their dreams. They met at their favorite spot in the village. They laughed and played, feeling happy and carefree. But their thoughts kept drifting back to Puppy. They wondered how it was doing with its family. They hoped it was happy and safe. As they talked, they heard a familiar bark in the distance. They looked up and saw Puppy running towards them. Their eyes widened in surprise and joy. Puppy wagged its tail happily, jumping around excitedly. Mary and Hans couldn't believe their eyes. They hugged Puppy tightly, feeling overjoyed. It seemed Puppy had escaped from its family to be with them. They laughed and cried tears of happiness. They knew Puppy belonged with them after all. Chapter 7, Together Again. Mary and Hans decided to keep Puppy for good. They knew it was meant to be. They promised to take care of Puppy forever. They fed it, gave it water, and made it comfortable. Puppy licked their faces, grateful to be with them. Mary's parents were surprised but happy to see Puppy again. They knew it was meant to be part of their family. They welcomed Puppy with open arms. Mary and Hans laughed as Puppy chased after its tail. They knew their adventures were just beginning. They would explore the village together, just like before. But this time, they had Puppy by their side. They felt complete, knowing they were together again. They knew their bond would last a lifetime. Chapter 8, Tears. As days turned into weeks, Mary, Hans, and Puppy became inseparable. They went on many adventures together, exploring every corner of the village. Puppy loved running through the fields, chasing butterflies and playing fetch with sticks. Mary and Hans laughed as Puppy rolled in the grass, its tail wagging furiously. They felt happy and free, with Puppy by their side. But one day, something unexpected happened. Puppy suddenly became sick, whimpering in pain. Mary and Hans felt scared and worried. They didn't know what to do. They rushed Puppy to the village vet, hoping for the best. The vet examined Puppy carefully, his face grave. He told Mary and Hans that Puppy was very sick. They felt tears welling up in their eyes. They couldn't bear to lose their beloved friend. Chapter 9, Promise. Mary and Hans stayed by Puppy's side, comforting it as best they could. They stroked its fur and whispered words of love and encouragement. Puppy looked up at them with sad eyes, as if trying to say thank you. Mary and Hans knew they had to be strong for Puppy. They promised to never leave its side. As the days passed, Puppy's condition worsened. Mary and Hans felt their hearts breaking. They prayed for a miracle, hoping Puppy would get better. But deep down, they knew the truth. Puppy's time was running out. They held onto each other tightly, crying tears of sadness. They couldn't imagine life without Puppy. But they knew they had to let it go. Chapter 10, Sorrow and Joy. On Puppy's final day, Mary and Hans stayed with it until the end. They held its paws and whispered comforting words. Puppy looked at them with love in its eyes, grateful for their presence. Mary and Hans felt a deep sense of loss as Puppy took its last breath. They cried together, mourning the loss of their beloved friend. But amidst their grief, they also felt grateful. Grateful for the time they had shared with Puppy. Grateful for the love and joy it had brought into their lives. As they buried Puppy in a beautiful spot in the village, they knew it would always be with them. In their memories, in their hearts, Puppy would live on forever. And though they would miss it dearly, they knew they would never forget the lessons it had taught them. Lessons of love, friendship, and the importance of cherishing every moment. As they stood together, hand in hand, Mary and Hans knew that their bond was stronger than ever. And as they looked up at the sky, they knew that Puppy was watching over them, smiling down from above. Their love for Puppy would never fade, and neither would their friendship. For Mary, Hans, and Puppy would be connected forever in the threads of love and memories.
구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.